Hello, friends. Happy Friday. Who knows when this is going up? I hope you're having a happy day. Anyway, welcome to Act 4 of Richard II. The story so far. Everyone hates Richard, apart from his cousin, the Duke of O'Merle. His cousin, Harry Hereford, has all the supporters, and Richard is now left with pretty much absolutely nothing. One of Richard's advisors, Bagot, is still alive. I say that because Bolingbroke ruthlessly murdered two of his other advisors. Bolingbroke, also known as Harry Hereford, and the Duke of Lancaster, so he has all those names. The Duke of York, remember, was Harry and Richard's uncle, who Richard left behind to look after the country, who is now pretty much joined with Bolingbroke, albeit reluctantly. And Northumberland is now pretty much Bolingbroke's right-hand man. What else? Always simmering in the background of these histories, there's a lot of Christian jingoism in the face of, and I quote, black pagans, Turks and Saracens. Be warned about that. There's lots of talks of crusades. And similarly, maybe I should have warned you about just how vicious Bolingbroke got when he executed Bushy and Green. I don't know who we're supposed to sympathise with here. Well, Act 4 is actually maybe a battle of the sympathies. Let's find out. Act 4. Ta-da! Act 4, Scene 1. Enter, as to Parliament, Bolingbroke, Duke of Lancaster and Hereford, the Duke of O'Merle, the Earl of Northumberland, Harry Percy, Lord Fitzwalter, who we haven't met before, the Duke of Surrey, who we haven't met before, the Bishop of Carlisle, and the Abbot of Westminster, who we haven't met before. Bolingbroke. Call forth Bagot. Enter Bagot, with officers. Now, Bagot, freely speak thy mind, what thou dost know of noble Gloucester's death, who wrought it with the king, and who performed the bloody office of his timeless end. Then set before my face the Lord O'Merle. Cousin, stand forth and look upon that man. O'Merle stands forth. Bagot. My Lord O'Merle, I know your daring tongue scorns to unsay what once it hath delivered. In that dead time when Gloucester's death was plotted, I heard you say, Is not my arm of length that reacheth from the restful English court as far as Calais to mine uncle's head? Amongst much other talk, that very time I heard you say that you would rather refuse the offer of 100,000 crowns than Bolingbroke's return to England, adding withal how blessed this land would be in this your cousin's death. O'Merle. Princes and noble lords, what answer shall I make to this base man? Shall I so much dishonour my fair stars on equal terms to give him chastisement? Either I must, or have mine honour soiled with the attainder of his slanderous lips. He throws down his gage. There is my gage, the manual seal of death that marks thee out for hell. I say thou liest, and will maintain what thou hast said is false. In thy heart blood, though being all too base to stain the temper of my knightly sword. Bolingbroke. Bagot, forbear, thou shalt not take it up. Excepting one, I would he were the best in all this present that have moved me so. Fitzwalter. If that thy valour stand on sympathy, there is my gage. O'Merle, engaged to thine. By that fair sun which shows me where thou standst, I heard thee say, and vaultingly thou spakest it, that thou art cause of noble Gloucester's death. If thou deniest it 20 times thou liest, and I will turn thy falsehood to thy heart, where it was forged with my rapier's point. Thou darest not, coward, live to see that day. Now, by my soul, I would it were this hour. Fitzwalter, thou art damned to hell for this. Harry Percy. O'Merle, thou liest. His honour is as true in his appeal as thou art all unjust, and that thou art. Well, there I throw my gage, to prove it on thee to the extremest point of mortal breathing. Seize it if thou darest, and if I do not, may my hands rot off, and never brandish more revengeful steel over the glittering helmet of my foe. Sorry, my Lord Fitzwalter, I do remember well the very time O'Merle and you did talk. 'Tis very true. You were in presence then, and you can witness with me if this is true. As false by heaven as heaven itself is true. Sorry, thou liest. Dishonourable boy, that lie shall lie so heavy on my sword that it shall render vengeance and revenge, till thou, the lie giver, and that lie do lie in earth as quiet as thy father's skull, in proof whereof, there is my honour's pawn. He throws down his gage. Engage it to the trial if thou darest. Fitzwalter. How fondly dost thou spur a forward horse? If I dare eat or drink or breathe or live, I dare meet Surrey in a wilderness and spit upon him whilst I say, he lies and lies and lies. There is my bond of faith to tie thee to my strong correction. As I intend to thrive in this new world, O'Merle is guilty of my true appeal. Besides, I heard the banished Norfolk say that thou, O'Merle, didst send 2 of thy men to execute the noble Duke at Calais. Some honest Christian trust me with a gage. He takes another's gage and throws it down. That Norfolk here do I throw down this, if I may be repealed to try his honour. Bolingbroke. These differences shall all rest under gage till Norfolk be repealed. Repealed he shall be, and though mine enemy restored again to all his lands and signories. When he is returned, against O'Merle we will enforce his trial. Bishop of Carlisle. That honourable day shall never be seen. And many a time hath banished Norfolk fought for Jesu Christ in glorious Christian field, streaming the ensign of the Christian cross against black pagans, Turks and Saracens, and toiled with works of war, retired himself to Italy, and there at Venice gave his body to that pleasant country's earth, and his pure soul unto his captain, Christ, under whose colours he had fought so long. Bolingbroke. Why, Bishop of Carlisle, is Norfolk dead? As surely as I live, my lord. Well, sweet peace conduct his sweet soul to the bosom of good old Abraham. Lords appellants, your differences shall all rest under gauge till we assign you to your days of trial. Enter the Duke of York. Great Duke of Lancaster! I come to thee from plume-plucked Richard, who with willing soul adopts thee heir, and his high sceptre yields to the possession of thy royal hand. Ascend his throne, descending now from him, and long live Henry, of that name the fourth! Bolingbroke. In God's name, I'll ascend the regal throne. Merry God forbid! Bishop of Carlisle. Worst in this royal presence may I speak, yet best beseeming me to speak the truth. Would God that any in this noble presence were enough noble to be upright judge of noble Richard, then true noblesse would learn him forbearance from so foul a wrong. What subject can give sentence on his king? And who sits here that is not Richard's subject? Thieves are not judged, but they are by to hear, although apparent guilt be seen in them. And shall the figure of God's majesty, his captain, steward, deputy elect, anointed, crowned, planted many years, be judged by subject and inferior breath, and he himself not present? Oh, forfended God, that in a Christian climate souls refined should show so heinous, black, obscene a deed. I speak to subjects, and a subject speaks, stirred up by God thus boldly for his king. My Lord of Hereford there, whom you call king, is a foul traitor to proud Hereford's king. And if you crown him, well, let me prophesy, the blood of English shall manure the ground, and future ages groan for this foul act. Peace shall go sleep with Turks and infidels, and in this seat of peace tumultuous wars shall kin with kin and kind with kind confound. But disorder, horror, fear, and mutiny shall here inhabit, and this land be called the field of Golgotha and dead men's skulls. Oh, if you rear this house against this house, it will the woefulest division prove that ever fell upon this cursed earth. Prevent, resist it, let it not be so, lest child's children cry against you woe. Northumberland. Well have you argued, sir, and for your pains of capital treason we arrest you here. My Lord of Westminster, be it your charge to keep him safely till his day of trial. It please you, lords, to grant the common suit. Bolingbroke. Fetch hither Richard, that in common view he may surrender, so we shall proceed without suspicion. York. I will be his conduct. Bolingbroke. Lords, you that here are under our arrest, procure your sureties for your days of answer. Little are we beholden to your love, and little looked for at your helping hands. Enter Richard and the Duke of York with attendants, bearing the crown and sceptre. Richard. Alack, why am I sent for to a king before I have shook off the regal thoughts wherewith I reigned? I hardly yet have learnt to insinuate, flatter, bow, and bend my knee. Give sorrow leave a while to tutor me to this submission. Yet I well remember the favours of these men. Were they not mine? Did they not sometime cry, all hail to me? So Judas did to Christ. But he in 12 found truth in all but one. I in 12,000, none. God save the king! Will no man say amen? Am I both priest and clerk? Well then, amen. God save the king, although I be not he, and yet Amen, if heaven do think in me. To do what service am I sent for hither, York? To do that office of thine own good will, which tired majesty did make thee offer, the resignation of thy state and crown to Henry Bolingbroke. Oh, give me the crown, to Bolingbroke. Here, cousin, seize the crown. Here, cousin. On this side my hand, on that side thine. Now is this golden crown like a deep well that owes two buckets filling one another, the emptier ever dancing in the air, the other down unseen and full of water. That bucket down and full of tears am I, drinking my griefs, whilst you mount up on high. I thought you had been willing to resign. My crown I am, but still my griefs are mine. You may my glories and my state depose, but not my griefs. Still am I king of those. Or part of your cares you give me with your crown. Your cares set up do not pluck my cares down. My care is loss of care by old care done. Your care is gain of care by new care won. The cares I give I have, though given away. They tend the crown, yet still with me they stay. Are you contented to resign the crown? Oh. No. No. For I must nothing be. Therefore no. For I resign to thee. Now mark me how I will undo myself. I give this heavy weight from off my head. Bolingbroke accepts the crown. And this unwieldy sceptre from my hand. Bolingbroke accepts the sceptre. The pride of kingly sway from out my heart. With mine own tears I wash away my balm. With mine own hands I give away my crown. With mine own tongue deny my sacred state. With mine own breath release all duteous oaths, all pomp and majesty I do forswear. My manners, rent, revenues I forego. My acts, decrees, and statutes I deny. God pardon all oaths that are broke to me. God keep all vows unbroke or made to thee. Make me that nothing have, with nothing grieved, and thou with all pleased that hast all achieved. Long mayest thou live in Richard's seat to sit, and soon lie Richard in an earthy pit. God save King Henry, unkinged Richard says, and send him many years of sunshine days. What more remains? Northumberland, giving Richard papers. No more but that you read these accusations and these grievous crimes committed by your person and your followers against the state and profit of this land, that by confessing them the souls of men may deem that you are worthily deposed. Must I do so? Well, must I ravel out my weaved up follies? Gentle Northumberland, if thy offences were upon record, would it not shame thee in so fair a troop to read a lecture of them? If thou wouldst, there shouldst thou find one heinous article containing the deposing of a king, and cracking the strong warrant of an oath, marked with a blot, damned in the book of heaven. Nay, all of you that stand and look upon whilst that my wretched earth doth bait itself, though some of you with Pilate wash your hands, showing an outward pity, yet you Pilates have here delivered me to my sour cross, and water cannot wash away your sin. My lord, dispatch, read o'er these articles. Mine eyes are full of tears, I cannot see. And yet salt water blinds them not so much, but they can see a sort of traitors here. If I turn mine eyes upon myself, I find myself a traitor with the rest, for I have given here my soul's consent to undeck the pompous body of a king. May glory base and sovereignty a slave, proud majesty a subject, state a peasant, my lord. No lord of thine thou art insulting man, nor no man's lord. I have no name, no title, no, not that name was given me at the font, but 'tis usurped. Alack, the heavy day that I have worn so many winters out, and know not now what name to call myself. Oh, that I were a mockery king of snow, standing before the son of Bolingbroke
to melt myself away in water drops. Good king, great king, and yet not greatly good. And if my word be sterling yet in England, let it command a mirror hither, that it may show me what a face I have, since it is bankrupt of his majesty. Go some of you and fetch a looking glass. Exit one or more. Read all this paper while the glass doth come. Fiend, thou torment'st me ere I come to hell. Urge it no more, my lord Northumberland. The Commons will not then be satisfied. They shall be satisfied. I'll read enough when I do see the very book indeed where all my sins are writ. And that's myself. Enter one of the glass. Give me that glass. And therein will I read. Richard takes the glass and looks in it. No deeper wrinkles yet? Hath sorrow struck so many blows upon this face of mine, and made no deeper wounds? O flattering glass, like to my followers in prosperity, thou dost beguile me. Was this face the face that every day under his household roof did keep 10,000 men? Was this the face that like the sun did make beholders wink? Is this the face which faced so many follies? It was at last outfaced by Bolingbroke. A brittle glory shineth in this face, as brittle as the glory is the face. He shatters the glass, for there it is, cracked in 100 shivers. Mark, silent king, the moral of this sport, how soon my sorrow hath destroyed my face. Bolingbroke. The shadow of your sorrow hath destroyed the shadow of your face. Say that again. The shadow of my sorrow. Let's see. 'Tis very true. My grief lies all within, and these external manner of laments are merely shadows to the unseen grief that swells with silence in the tortured soul. There lies the substance, and I thank thee, King, for thy great bounty, that not only givest me cause to wail, but teachest me the way how to lament the cause. I'll beg one boon, and then be gone and trouble you no more. Shall I obtain it? Name it, fair cousin. Fair cousin. I am greater than a king, for when I was a king, my flatterers were then but subjects. Being now a subject, I have a king here to my flatterer. For being so great, I have no need to beg. Yet ask, and shall I have? You shall. Then give me leave to go. Whither? Whither you will, so I were from your sights. Go some of you, convey him to the tower. Oh, good, convey. Yeah. Conveyors are you all that rise thus nimbly by a true king's fall. Exit, guarded. On Wednesday next, we solemnly set down our coronation. Lords, prepare yourselves. Exeunt all but the Abbot of Westminster, the Bishop of Carlisle, and O'Merle, Abbot of Westminster. A woeful pageant have we here beheld, Bishop of Carlisle. The woes to come, the children yet unborn shall feel this day as sharp to them as thorn. O'Merle. You holy clergyman, is there no plot to rid the realm of this pernicious blot? My lord, before I freely speak my mind herein, you shall not only take the sacrament to bury mine intents, but also to effect whatever I shall happen to devise. I see your brows are full of discontent, your hearts of sorrow, and your eyes of tears. Come home with me to supper. I will lay a plot shall show us all a merry day. Exeunt. And that is the end of Act 4 of Richard II. And Act 3 is there. And when I finish Act 5, it will go up there. And if you want to leave me tips, you can do that with a little link there. And if you want to leave comments, you can do that as well. And if you want to like it, you can do that. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, you can subscribe to my channel. There's loads of other Shakespeare and Defoe and stuff, but you probably know that. I hope you are all doing tremendously. Bye-bye.